Hey there, and good morning from Berlin-Brandenburg International Airport. Today I'll be taking Austrian Airlines over to Vienna and then on down to the Italian city of Bologna. I'll be flying both of these flights in economy class, and the thing is, Austrian Airlines operates one of the shortest minimum connection times in the world over at Vienna Airport. So I booked a flight with just 25 minutes to switch planes. And I have flown Austrian in economy before, but I've never done it with only a 25-minute connection. So I'm really interested to see if I'll actually be able to make that connection over in Vienna. And then we'll see what the onboard experience first on one of Austrian Airlines A320s is like, and then later on one of their Embraer aircraft with 2-2 seating. But despite how bright it is here in this lounge, it is really early. So I'm gonna go get a bite to eat, drink some coffee, and then we'll be on our way. This lounge definitely doesn't compare to what you'll find at more impressive big international airports, but as far as Berlin Airport goes, it's the best lounge here. They've got nice coffee, nice food for breakfast and all the other meals too, and they have magazines, which not that many lounges have anymore, so that's kind of fun. So I think after this smoothie, I'm just going to go head over to the gate and see if they don't start boarding pretty soon. My first flight's just clocked in at about an hour 15, so it's probably going to be an hour in the air. Really short flight. And the second flight is almost exactly the same, both well under 1,000 miles. And since they're intra-Schengen flights, boarding just starts 30 minutes before. So let's head on over to the plane. So I'm now on board and we're just pushing back a few minutes after that 7 a.m. departure time. So now I'm really interested to see if we're going to make that 25-minute connection over in Vienna. And we're just waiting a few minutes over on the tarmac, assumingly because air traffic control hasn't caught us to the runway yet. But boarding was actually pretty nice. Everybody was pretty welcoming, and I had some time to take a look at the in-flight sales and in-flight meals, and basically these days on short European flights, Austrian Airlines only gives out free water and then the rest you got to pay for. And while we taxi out, Berlin Airport is a very strange airport, to be honest. Mostly they just have these short-haul flights on airlines like Ryanair, EasyJet, and then all the typical legacy airlines. But they also have a few very random long-haul flights. There's a couple to the US, but then there's also a few to Asia, and there's one on Hainan Airlines that I just saw over here, which is a Chinese airline, and I believe it's a non-stop flight from Berlin to Beijing every single day. And you really don't even see that many wide-body jets over here. Turkish Airlines operates like 2 or 3 A330 flights a day. United's got their 767s that they fly over here from New York. Norse operates a few Dreamliners out of here. Then Delta operates a seasonal flight with a 767 as well. Oh yeah, and there's Qatar Airways, and there might be a few others, but compared to most international airports, there's not that many wide-body or even long-haul flights going out of Berlin. But it looks like we're taxiing over to the north runway. That usually is more often used by the low-cost carriers, but Austrian's going to take off there today, at least it seems. And we just finished our taxi out to the runway, and I can hear the engines roaring up again, so we're just about to take off. Takeoff was super smooth, and the views are pretty nice this morning. I mean, it's a little bit cloudy, but for the Berlin area, this is clear. I've always really liked how all of the Lufthansa group has a really sleek and kind of simple look on all of their aircraft and with their logos and stuff, and this A320 is no exception with Austrian. It looks really nice. It's also pretty clean, I have to say. But although takeoff was real smooth, we haven't even reached altitude yet, and it's gotten really bumpy. Turbulence is still definitely light, but it's enough that they had to turn on the fasten seatbelt sign, and they said they're going to leave it on for about 20 minutes. So for me, that means I'm probably not going to get up for this whole flight, since the flight's only about an hour of flying time, and we've got like 40 minutes left now.
Dear guests, due to the bumpy weather, we kindly ask you for understanding that we cannot start our service right now.
And there you have it. And if you're wondering why my window shade's closed, well, the sun is really, really strong this morning. It's the middle of summer in Europe, and the sun rises really early. And once you get close to altitude, the sun just gets stronger. So I've closed it for a little while. But I think I'll actually open it back up and see what it looks like out there. It's actually getting quite cloudy as we head towards Austria. So let's see if it doesn't clear up towards Vienna for some more views. As predicted, they didn't turn off the seatbelt sign for long enough for me to even get up. But all in all, for a flight with a bit of turbulence, this flight has been pretty good. What I'm really interested in seeing now is if I can catch that second flight, or if I get to sit around in the lounge for a long time at Vienna Airport. We're just beginning our final descent to Vienna though, so I'm going to get everything ready to just get off this plane as fast as possible and walk over to my other plane. Oh yeah, and by the way, there is an internet connection available on these Austrian A320s. For general usage, you've got to pay an arm and a leg, but there is free messaging and a free way to track your flight.
We just ask all passengers to Bologna to speed up to gate F31, but please check again the screens inside the airport building.
So it looks like I should run over to gate F31 the second I get there. But continuous turbulence aside, this first flight was pretty solid. Really, my only complaint was that due to the turbulence, there was no service at all, and as a result, I was not able to get any water to drink. Now, they said we're definitely going to make our connection, but for some reason they decided not to park at the jet bridge, assumingly because no jet bridge is open, so we're going to have to take a bus. And I guess the other plane's going to be a little bit delayed because of us, it looks like. Or they're going to leave and then we'll get EU261 compensation. And while a few €100 in cash compensation is always welcome, I was in for another surprise. And it was not this piece of Austrian chocolate that gave me upon deplaning. They're giving me a private transfer over to my flight to Bologna. And I'm guessing if they hadn't driven me over straight to my next plane, I would have definitely missed my flight. Cause my first flight arrived a little bit late, leaving me with maybe less than 15 minutes until my gate would close. So is a 25-minute layover something that Vienna Airport really is able to handle? Well, I'd say sometimes the answer is probably yes, and then sometimes it's probably no. The Schengen terminal is relatively easy to navigate, but sometimes one gate can be really far from another. But today at least, I made it to my flight in style and before they closed the gate. And less than 10 minutes after I was on the plane, we took off. I'm really impressed how we got from the first plane to the gate really fast. And for this flight, I've ended up in an aisle seat. But the aisle's okay for this one since it is just like a 55-minute short hop over to Bologna. And I still haven't had the chance to drink any water, but I did just see the stewardess come down the aisle with a bunch of water. So I'm looking forward to that. And finally, I got some water, but it wasn't that much water. So I'm still a little bit thirsty, but I think I'll make it to Bologna. And the bathroom on this Embraer 195 is not bad at all. It's clean enough to use, and I mean this flight is super short, so they're probably not going to come in and clean it during the flight. The only thing was it's so short that most of the time that the seatbelt sign is off, the drink cart is also going down the aisle, so I had to go to the one in the front, which is kind of the Euro business class one or whatever, but I think basically that means you get these little moist towelettes. But there's not that much else to say. I mean, Austrian is pretty solid. They could definitely bring back a free sandwich to their product or something. Because right now you just get like nothing, it's just a cup of water, not even a bottle. But other than that, pretty sleek, pretty clean, and the people working for the airline are pretty nice. And well, that's really about all there is to these two short flights that I'm taking today. But I consider them a big success because I made a 25-minute connection, and I've got a banana from the lounge that I'm about to eat. Since they don't serve any food in Austria and I'm pretty hungry. But that's really it for this video. I've made it from Berlin all the way over to Bologna with a stop in Vienna in under 3 hours. That's pretty fast. Thanks so much for watching, and if you liked it, give it a like and make sure to subscribe to my channel for many more travel videos. Ciao!